Carl Jung often encouraged his patients to paint the images that arouse from their imaginal work, and there are numerous case studies in the collected works that present evidence of how efficacious this creative effort could be in aiding the process of psychological integration. The enormous detail and care with which Jung executed the paintings in Liber Novus is testimony to how important it was to him to give concrete form to the images that emerged in his interior explorations, including those he related to astrological symbols. Jung suggested that by providing a container for the archetypal potencies, the individual might be spared the often horrific experience of being overpowered by the collective unconscious, resulting in a psychosis. This kind of overpowering seems to have buffeted Jung during the period between 1913 and 1917, when he was experiencing uncontrollable visions and believed that his house was haunted by the spirits of the dead. By providing a visual container for what he understood as the eruption of the archetypal realm, he was able to maintain a reasonably stable external life and preserve his psychotherapeutic practice. The traditions of theurgy from late antiquity not only offered ample food for Jung's hunger for a philosophical framework in which to embed his psychological insights, they also provided explicit instructions on how to avoid the disintegration of the personality that could accompany a confrontation with the divine. Neoplatonic theurgies such as Iamblichus eloquently expounded the reasons and methods for providing symbolic vehicles for the gods, and were equally eloquent about the terrifying consequences of a mortal experiencing possession by a deity without the protection of the appropriate sambola. Posidonius described individual souls as the pieces or seeds of the intellectual fiery breath of the cosmos, akin to Plato's world soul. According to Posidonius, there are sympathies between all parts of this material divinity or divine matter, and Jung would later use the term psychoid, referring to the objective psyche or collective unconscious as both physical and psychic. The human soul is thus made of the same stuff as the divine, and it is through this shared substance that theurgy acquires its efficacy. Not only are human souls pieces or sparks of the world soul, the gods have embedded their tokens or passwords called synthemata throughout existence, and this encapsulates the Neoplatonic understanding of a symbol, or what they call symbolon. Iamblichus and Proclus use the terms symbolon and synthema interchangeably to describe the receptacles or tokens in material reality through which the gods may be contacted. The symbolon operates on the basis of natural sympathies between the deity and the manifest world. It is not a human social construct, but rather the expression of ineffable divinity in manifest reality. Rather than being created by humans as social constructs, true symbols for these philosophers, as for Jung, are discovered because they embody divinity in the physical world, or in Jung's terminology, they embody the realm of the archetypes. As Jung would later put it, myths consist of symbols that were not invented but happened. Symbols for Jung are also gateways. They both embody and facilitate passage into a liminal zone through which one may move from one dimension of reality to another. If one accepts the symbol, it is as if a door opens leading into a new room whose existence one previously did not know. But if one does not accept the symbol, it is as if one carelessly went past this door, and since this was the only door leading to the inner chambers, one must pass outside into the streets again, exposed to everything external. Salvation is a long road that leads through many gates. These gates are symbols. The poet William Yeats, a member of the Order of the Golden Dawn and also an astrologer, phrased it in similar fashion. Symbols and formulae are powers which act in their own right and with little considerations for our intentions. They are indeed personifying spirits that we had best call gates and gatekeepers, because through their dynamic power they bring our soul to crisis. The word sambolan is itself derived from sambelen, meaning to join together. A symbol thus expresses two aspects. It functions as the visible half of a whole object, and also it hints at a pre-existing imperceptible entity of which the symbol is an expression. In ancient Greek divinatory practice, the term sambolan also carried the notion of a meeting, an encounter, or a bumping into something. Proclus used the term sambolan to describe a particular kind of relationship between a visible object and an unseen reality. Divine potencies appear by concealing themselves in form to us who have been endowed with form, and these forms are symbols that both conceal and reveal. Thus, the physical sun and the physical planets are the forms that both conceal and reveal celestial divinities. The sun conceals and reveals Apollo and Helios, while the moon conceals and reveals Athena, Artemis, and Hecate. The world soul has been renamed the collective unconscious, and the gods have become archetypes. But the idea that all things in the universe are secretly interconnected through invisible chains of symbolic correspondences remains unchanged, as does the perception that the gods or archetypes themselves, through their tokens, are amenable to and even desirous of a dynamic interaction with human consciousness that for Jung led towards some unknown goal. There are other processes which bear within them a hidden meaning, processes which are not merely derived from something, but which seek to become something, and are therefore symbols.